Hey, all, how you doing? I want to show you a little something. It's a favorite coin of mine. This is called an Una and the Lion coin. It was made back in the 1800s. It's got Queen Victoria on this side, and then it depicts her on this side as the fairy Queen Una walking with the lion. It's an absolutely beautiful coin. The thing with beautiful coins, however, is that they're very elusive and they have a tendency to disappear. But don't worry, I keep another one right here. And it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter how slowly and determinately I place it in this hand, it still disappears. But don't worry, I keep another one right here. Let me explain what I'm doing. It's called misdirection, and it involves a patter or the words that I say. You see, if I take the coin, and I'm going to take the coin, I put it in this hand, and I'm grinding it up into invisible powder. And I make this idea that the powder is falling in this hand, and I get you looking into the palm of this hand. And while you're looking at the palm of this hand moves away. And you don't notice that this hand is kind of shaped funny. And that's where in the misdirection line, because you see, there's nothing in this hand, never has been. The coin's always been in this hand. And that's what we call prestidigitation. But don't worry, I always keep another one right here. Well, that was kind of a cute little thing on misdirection, but now what I want to focus on is the misdirection that's more important to us right now, and that's called COVID. I don't know if you saw in the story, but the CDC wants to add over 5,000 deaths to the COVID death toll in New York City. There's been approximately 14,000 deaths that were directly attributable to COVID. This is, of course, ground zero for the nation's New York City. 14,000 deaths that have been identified, those people had COVID. There's another 5,000 that they added on there that they suspect are COVID. No testing, but they suspect they're COVID. Well, that's enough, but now they want to add on 5,000 what they call excess deaths. And what this means is that there is an additional 5,000 deaths that have happened in New York City in the past couple months that are above average, above what they normally see in New York City for this time frame. Well, they want to place those onto COVID to make it look like there's even more COVID deaths. So now we'd be up to 24,000 COVID deaths. But are they COVID deaths? There's nothing that says that they're directly COVID deaths. They just want to add them into the number. I think they would be better labeled quarantine deaths. And let me explain why. If you recall, when this all started, they wanted us to flatten the curve. And of course, we didn't have any data, and we were all very scared, and so we jumped on board. But why do we have to flatten the curve? And if you remember, there was this dashed line of medical capacity in the nation. And we wanted to flatten the COVID curve so that it stayed below the medical capacity and that we wouldn't overwhelm hospitals with too many COVID deaths. Well, that never happened. In fact, we're furloughing doctors and nurses all over the nation, and hospitals are on the brink of bankruptcy, and they're having to ask for handouts from the government. So shouldn't we open back up? Oh, no, you see, the story changed. We have to keep you focused on COVID. No, we have to wait until there's a cure. Well, guys, there's not going to be a cure. The COVID's going to be with us. Just like COVID-1, SARS-CoV-1, SARS-CoV-2, they're still with us. SARS-CoV-19 is the latest in that issue. In fact, we've spent millions of dollars trying to develop a human vaccine for the COVID for the past 20 years. Why isn't there one? Well, there's two things. One, when it gets to animal testing, it has been proven very effective, and it's had some bad side effects. But more importantly, the reason that we don't have a human vaccine for COVID is because we got over COVID. And when it says, well, why did we get over it? What stopped COVID? Well, what stopped it was something, I love the way they put it, non-pharmaceutical means. Can I translate that for you? That's called immunity. You see, the only thing that's going to get us past this virus is called immunity. It's our natural immunities. We develop those by being exposed to disease-causing agents. Now, 30 years ago, I was an undergrad and I was working as a work study for a couple of immunologists, and they were doing studies on the effect of stress on the immune system. And what was interesting is at one point I was given in a semester to just go through and look up all of the documents and all of the research done on stress and immunity that had been done in the nation. I looked up everything that was in the English language and read it. And the one thing that was extremely clear is that chronic stress suppresses our immune system. It suppresses both innate immune function, runny nose, vomiting, fever, and also the more important one, acquired immune function. Acquired immune function happens when we build up antibodies when we're exposed to different disease-causing agents. Now, this happens, we have a couple of special organs for that, our tonsils and our appendix, which evolutionists say are vestigial organs. They said that our appendix is a vestigial stomach from when we were cows, and our tonsils are vestigial gills from when we were fish. No, they are organs that are necessary for us to build acquired immune systems. They're next to lymph nodes, lots of white blood cells, and we build up antibodies. We have to be continuously infected. You see bugs, flus, colds, COVIDs, all these things are continuously wiggling to try to get into our bodies and kill us, right? So that they can live. Our immune system is continuously countering them, coming up with new antibodies and keeping them at bay. We do this by repeated infection. And that's one of the reasons we touch our face all the time. We touch our face we don't touch our elbows all the time. We touch our face all the time, and this is the most infectious area of our body. And we touch it with our germ magnets that we put and touch everything with. Why did God make us so that the part that we go and touch all the world with, we touch our face with? Because we're introducing pathogens into our system continuously that we might build a healthy immune system. Now, what I found was that stress reduces immune function. No, actually, I didn't find it out. All these other scientists found it out. I just read about it. Well, what about the stress of losing millions of jobs? What about the stress of social isolation? What about the increase in depression and the increase in alcohol and drug abuse? You see, what's happening is that we are absolutely crushing our immune systems. And stress is to the human immune system like drought is to a forest. And in severe drought, the trees are weakened and they're subject to every parasite that comes along. You stress our immune system and we get weakened until we are subject to every parasite that comes along. So they've got this misdirection thing going. It's COVID related. Okay, I guess technically it's COVID related, but it's not being truthful. It's quarantine related. It's social isolation related. You know, I think the thing that we need to do is we need to open back up. I agreed with their initial plan, and that was let's not overwhelm hospitals. So I've got a plan for us. It's called Do It. Let's open. We need to open, and we'll use their numbers. They wanted to bump us up to 25%. Well, in our state, the governor said churches 10%, you stores can be 20, you can be 25, and you can't open because some of you guys are more essential than others. Essential, throw that out. Essential is nonsense. You look it up, what is essential depends on who you ask. And that is true. Every governor has their own idea of what essential is. And I would say that if you asked a small business owner if their business was essential, they'd say yes. I think if you would ask somebody in economics what businesses are essential to our economy, I think they'd say all of them. So we got rid of non-discrimination. I mean, we got rid of discrimination. We have non-discrimination laws. Let's just throw out the essential word right now. We just open up to I think what they want is 25% across the board. And let's use the magic number 14. 14 days is the magic COVID number, evidently. We started on the 15th. On the 29th, if their hospitals aren't overwhelmed, let's bump it to 50. And let's go to 50% normal, I guess you would say, for another 14 days. And if there's still hospital beds left and respirators left, let's bump it to 75%. And let's try that. And so before we even get close to the end of June, we could be 100% open. People going back to work, people seeing each other, us getting germs back in our face, us building our immune system, getting out in the sun, being with, hugging people, touching people, shaking their hands, touching them, because that builds our immune system. We need to open back up, and we need to quit falling for the misdirection that keeps getting shoved in our face, this fear-mongering that COVID is the sky is falling and it's going to kill all of us. Well, I'm sorry, that's just my little soapbox. I needed a little rant. This really isn't a twisted devotion. This is just a rant. But maybe I feel better. I think my immune system's better now. I just need to go hug somebody and rant a little more, and I think I'll be fine. Well, we'll see you soon.